These long dog days of summer, I mean, we just made it through a heat wave. Mama was parched through this heat wave. I was hitting up Dunkin' every single day, and I will continue to probably for the rest of my days, but especially this summer. Dunkin' is helping everyone stay cool this summer with its lineup of refreshers. These drinks are packed with bold, fruity flavors and served ice cold. It's amazing. Dunkin' refreshers are the perfect afternoon pick-me-up. I like to start my morning with them personally, and then sometimes I go back for a second one because I'm just feeling crazy. They come in a variety of delicious flavors, including fan favorites mango pineapple and strawberry dragon fruit. And then for a limited time, there's black cherry and there's pink pineapple. I'm going to tell you something right now, and it's a bold claim, let me tell you, but I stand behind it. Pink pineapple will change your life. It is so good. It has me feeling like I'm sitting in a pool, resort side, just living, honey. It's so yummy. Try your favorite flavor with green tea, sparkling water, lemonade, or Dunkin's all-new limeade. I haven't tried the limeade yet, but I'm going to. Usually I get my drinks made with green tea and occasionally lemonade, but I do really like the green tea. Or if you don't want to build your own, try one of Dunkin's curated refreshers like the Cherry Lime Ricky or the Ultimate Pink Daydream. The Cherry Lime Ricky, scrumptious. I could drink like 3 of these a day. They're so freaking yummy. Head to Dunkin' today and find your favorite refresher. Dunkin' refreshers contain less than 1% fruit juice. Limited time offer. Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Some flavors can only be crafted by nature. One sunny day, a honeybee discovered a mysterious apple blossom and carried its pollen to a Honeycrisp tree. Months later, something extraordinary was born. The sugar bee apple, with notes of honey, caramel, and molasses, balanced by bright sweetness and an extra crisp crunch. Sugar bee apples elevate everything from charcuterie boards and salads to baked treats and everyday snacking. Ready for some inspiration? Download our free recipe book and discover delicious ways to enjoy sugar bee apples at hellosugarbee.com. Sugar bee apples, from bee to you.
Hey, weirdos, I'm Ash.
And I'm Elena.
And this is Morbid.
This is morbid, and man, there's a lot going on the last couple days.
Do you know why? Because it's stupid daylight savings time.
I fucking hate daylight
I fucking
savings
hate
time.
it.
Is this a polarizing opinion? I don't think so.
So I don't think it's polarizing to not like it because of the whole like you lose an hour thing.
Yeah.
But people love the longer days with more sunlight.
That's polarizing.
I just polarized the shit out of this. I hate it.
Yeah, I much prefer darkness.
I want a longer night.
Yeah,
Give me a longer night. When the sun sets at 4, I'm so happy.
Well, and I get used to one way, and then it flips the other way, and it's pissing me off. I was in such a good routine of getting up super early and getting up way before the kids get up, and now my body doesn't know what time it is, so it keeps waking up later, and then I don't get my time in the morning before everyone wakes up. It's really fucking me up.
I actually weirdly I'm the opposite. I've been waking up better with daylight savings,
God,
but I'm confused when I wake up because I'm like, is it 5:30? Is it 6:30? Where am I?
I don't like it.
Yeah.
And I want to abolish it.
Yeah, I want to abolish it too. I also, every time that it happens the last couple of years, I'm like, didn't we get rid of this?
I feel like we've been trying to for decades.
I swear courts across the nation have voted millions of times and we've all said, nah.
I think we've all said we don't want this anymore, but then the government was like, I literally don't give a fuck.
I thought the government actually cared about this one, but...
Yeah, I was going to say, you thought the government actually cared.
About this one, I said.
Nah, they don't care about anything.
Yeah, no, they don't.
But... here we are, dealing with daylight savings time still.
It's fucking brutal.
Fucking A.
Anything else you got? You should tell people to buy your book.
Yeah, pre-order my book, The Butcher Legacy. It's the third in the Dr. Van Muller series.
And there's signed editions available.
There is. I don't know if they're still available.
I just said there's signed editions available, and you said there is. I don't know if they're available.
There was, I should say. Maybe there'll be more. I don't know, though. Not at this moment. If they're sold out right now.
Okay. Well, you could still buy an unsigned edition.
You can buy so many editions that you want. There's special editions.
I was going to say special.
There's regular editions that are still special in my heart.
Yeah.
You can pre-order them all. And you can do it at butcherlegacy.com, anywhere you want to get it. Anywhere you feel connected to that you want to purchase this book, I support it.
That's really nice of you.
Yeah, I support you.
The interaction where you were like, I said they're available, and then you were like, they are, but they're not. Just reminded me of something before we actually get into this. You'll love this. I was watching Watch What Happens Live the other night, and Andy said to Tom Sandoval, Tom Sandoval was talking about how he met Kristen and like her baby. This is Vanderpump Rules, in case you're interested.
Yeah.
And
in case you're interested in what I'm talking about.
In case you're interested in what I have to say. And so Andy was like, that must have been so strange. Or like, oh my God, like that was crazy. And Tom was like, yeah, it was so strange. And then he kind of trailed off and Andy was like, yeah, that must have been strange. And then Tom goes, it wasn't strange though. And it was just like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
Like, are both of you all right?
He was like, yeah, it was so strange. And it must have been strange, but it wasn't even strange.
What we've determined is that it was strange, but it wasn't.
It was crazy.
So there was that.
It was something.
Yeah, so you know what? They're available, but they're not.
That's just the way it is.
I think that's what I've heard recently is that they might be out of the signed ones.
Look at you selling shit out.
But you know what? If you have demand, let me know. Because one thing I will do is make my life harder and continue signing things till the end of time.
One of your favorite pastimes on this planet, Capricorn.
Yeah.
I'm speaking to all the Capricorns worldwide, is to make your fucking lives harder.
I've got a whole stack of tip-ins right next to me that I'm signing to make sure you guys have them.
I'm not trying to like toot your horn like excessively, but I don't know how you do it.
Thank you.
I don't want to do a lot of things. Yeah, I bet. I'm tired and I don't even do much. So I said to Drew this morning, I was like, I got to stop saying I don't feel like it. I say I don't feel like it.
I don't feel like
so frequently. Really? And I'm like, you've never noticed?
I don't know if I have clocked that.
Well, now you won't because I'm not saying it anymore.
Oh, shit.
I'm switching it with I get to.
I get to.
I get to.
Okay.
Like, I don't feel like going to work today. I get to go to work today.
Yeah.
I'm gainfully employed.
Oh,
I feel like it.
There's a nice way to bring some goodness into your life.
I don't feel like driving home today. I have a car.
And I get to drive to my home.
And I get a home to drive to.
A shelter over my head.
Oh, I don't feel like taking the dog out. I have a fucking dog.
And I can go walk.
I can walk.
Yeah.
You know? You got to.
I like that.
Yeah.
Actually, I really like that.
I'm trying. It's at first you feel a little silly.
But
you feel a little zany.
It's okay. There needs to be more silliness.
But I have to stop saying I don't feel like it because I'm creating a bad world.
Yeah, well, you make yourself feel like bleh.
Yeah, exactly, all the time.
But yeah, the moral of the story is if you really want more signed copies, keep yelling at me about it because it'll work.
Yeah, and she won't say I don't feel like it. She'll say I get to sign these copies
because that's essentially what I say. I will sign 1 million copies for you guys. So
it's a cool thing.
If you want copies, I'll do it. I have always wanted to sign copies of a book I wrote. So
and here you
do
are
that forever.
I also just read something pretty cool that she's working on.
I'm really excited.
I can't say anything else, but it's really cool.
Hang tight, everybody.
All right. So let's get into the case today. This one, Dave, our researcher.
David.
And I hadn't heard of this before, which makes sense because it was like in the 90s, but it carries on into a time when I was alive.
Oh.
And conscious.
Yeah, conscious.
And you were saying you weren't sure if you had heard of this case.
Yeah, I wonder if when I don't know what it's about. I've only seen the title of this.
Yeah.
So maybe when you're talking about it might ring a bell.
I wonder if it will ring your bell.
We were just singing that.
But it's crazy. Like, I'm excited to get into this one, and thankfully, I will tell you, it is solved. But there is still a lot of mystery surrounding the case.
Okay.
It's strange.
Interesting.
So, in the late fall of 1999, 18-year-old Zebb Quinn was in the market for a new car. For 2 years, he was working at the local Walmart after school, and on weekends, he was always working, and he managed to save a solid amount of money. So on January 2nd, 2000, one of his former coworkers, Jason Owens, visited Zebb at Walmart and said, hey, I know this guy who's selling a car. I think you might like the car. Do you want to check it out? We can go tonight after you get off work.
Yeah.
So Zebb was like, hell yeah, I've been looking for a car. Let's go. So a short time later, they were seen walking out of the store together. Out in the parking lot, they both got into their respective cars, and Jason led the way to the home of a person who was selling the car, with Zebb close behind him. Now, along the way, they stopped at a convenience store, and then they got back on the road. But not long after leaving the store's parking lot, Zebb apparently got an urgent message on his pager.
Pager. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, crazy. And he started flashing his headlights, indicating to Jason, like, pull over. So Jason said on the side of the road, Zebb ran over and explained he got a message and he needed to, he returned that call immediately. So, like, the plan was off. Now, Zebb apparently seemed uncharacteristically panicked about this call, and he asked if he could use Jason's cell phone, but Jason didn't have a cell phone.
Because it's 1999.
Because it's the 90s. And he was like, maybe you can go back to the convenience store to use that phone, and apparently Zebb did.
Okay.
So about 10 minutes later, around 9:30 at night, Zebb returned to where Jason was waiting on the side of the road, just chilling. When he pulled up behind the other car, he was actually so frantic that he accidentally rear-ended Jason's car when he came to a stop. Like, something big was going on.
Yeah.
He immediately apologized and said he would pay for everything. But he was like, I'm sorry, we have to work out the details later because I actually have to go, like, right now.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So Jason was like, do you still want to go see the car? But Zebb said it would have to wait. And he got back in his car and sped off without giving any indication as to who called him and what was so urgent.
Wow. And that's hard because you want to be like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? But you don't want to, like, pry.
Right.
If he's not offering the information.
That's the thing. And I don't think they were, like, super close. They were just,
he
like,
probably felt like
old coworkers, you know?
So he's not going to be like, what's going on in your personal life?
Right, exactly. Now, that was the last time that anybody saw Zebb Quinn.
What?
Yeah. So a little later that night, around 10 p.m., Zebb's mother, Denise, called her son's pager and left a message, hoping and expecting that, you know, he would call her back at any minute. He was always super, super close with his mom. Like, they were each other's best friend. So when he didn't return her call as quickly as he usually did, she thought it was strange, but she was like, okay, maybe he went out to play pool with, like, somebody after work. And she was like, I'm not going to think too much of this right now. So as the evening wore on, though, Denise started to get more and more nervous. More time is going by, he's not answering, and she starts to get seriously worried. She later said, he never returned any of his pages. I kept waking up and paging him. I must have paged him 4 times.
Oh.
Not only was it out of character for him to ignore his mother's phone calls, it was also really out of character for Zebb to stay out all night, especially without telling his mom or his sister where he would be. His sister Brandy said later, pretty quickly I was worried. He wasn't a normal teenage boy. He wasn't rebellious. It was just really out of character.
Oh, that must have been horrifying.
Also, if you look him up, he is as cute as a button. Like,
oh, he is. I just looked him up.
He just seems like a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Like,
he's got that kind of face that you're just like, oh.
Yeah, and I just love her being like, no, like, he's not a rebellious teenager. Like, he literally he gave off, like, teddy bear energy.
He's a good kid.
You know?
Yeah.
So the next morning, when Zebb still hadn't come home, his mother and sister, at this point, started to panic. It wasn't just worry anymore. Denise called Walmart, where the supervisor informed her that Zebb had clocked out a little past 9 the night before, and a few of his coworkers saw him leave the store with Jason Owens, but nobody had seen him since. So Denise made a few more calls to some of Zebb's friends, some more coworkers, but nobody had seen him. That afternoon, when she still hadn't heard from her son, she had no choice but to go to the police department, and she filed a missing persons report. So his failure to return his mom's calls and his sister's calls, and the fact that he didn't return home that night, wasn't just unusual because of how close he was with his mom and how close he was with his sister, but it was also unusual because there were very few other places that he would have gone except for home. Like, he usually hung out at home. He'd always been a stereotypical good kid who was well liked by teachers and other people in the community, but unfortunately making friends was never easy for him. He kind of struggled at that.
Oh, that breaks my heart.
It's really sad.
People are so mean.
People are so fucking mean.
Like, just be cool with people, man. Be gentle with people.
That's the thing. Like, you don't know what's going on in people's lives.
And we're all fucking doing this for the first time. Like, Jesus Christ.
It's rough in the
I haven't been in a
streets.
skin suit before this, I don't think, that I remember.
I think I have.
If I have, I don't remember it. So
I don't remember
I'm doing
it
it for the first time consciously.
This time.
Yeah.
This time and place is the first time. So when he was younger, his mom said he was a lot smaller and clumsier than the other kids his age. And he also had a learning disorder, which made him really self-conscious. And he was occasionally targeted by assholes at school, bullies. He struggled to fit in. That said, he did have people that he met through sports and Cub Scouts, but they were kind of more acquaintances than friends. Like they didn't hang out on the regular.
He wasn't like, those weren't like deepening relationships.
Yeah, not where he would like go hang out after work or anything like that. And even at work, like I was just talking about, where he was adored by his coworkers, he was actually closer with a lot of the older women at the store than he was with anyone his own age.
Oh my God. He sounds adorable.
No, he does. And also you have to think he's being raised by women.
Yeah, so
like he's growing up in a house with his sister. His mom was like his primary parent for a long time. His grandmother was also very involved in his life. So like he's got a strong line of ladies behind him.
So that's a guy right there.
Right.
That's a guy you want around right
exactly. Now, if he did have a best friend at all, it was said to be his sister Brandy.
Oh my God.
Which I love.
I love this a lot.
So in his mid-teens, Zebb got involved with the Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps, which is ROTC. This was the first thing that he had ever expressed any strong interest in as far as his mom could remember. And once he joined the program, he really started to come out of his shell there.
Oh.
Now, all of that said, Zebb Quinn was the last person anybody would expect to disappear without telling anybody. And no one in his life could think of anywhere that he could have gone or anyone he would have run off with.
Yeah.
They were at a loss. He kept a small circle. Nobody could think why he would be so upset that he just, took off, anything like that. To those who knew him best, he was a laid-back person. He really didn't get rattled by anything. So the fact that he had been so upset by the page he received on the night he went missing...
that's what's shocking.
That was as unusual as the disappearance itself.
Yeah, because you're like, what the fuck was that?
Right. Now, days passed and there was still no word from Zebb. Then, on the Sunday after he disappeared, his boss at Walmart, Patty King, got a really weird call. She said, the person on the other end said, "This is Zebb Quinn. I will not be into work today." And I'm thinking, okay, this is not Zebb. So Patty had been his boss for the last 2 years, and she knew him fairly well enough to know his voice.
Yeah.
So she actually, this was really smart of her. She played dumb and she tried to get more information, asking the caller what department he worked in and what shift he was supposed to work. But the person on the other end of the phone said they didn't know and just hung up.
Oh, that's spooky as hell.
It's spooky.
That's really ominous.
Now, our girl Patty is not done yet. Patty. Thinking fast, Patty dialed star 69.
Oh, which was...
You remember those days. I remember that even from when we were like prank calling when we were younger. So, and for anybody that doesn't know, that's when you dial star 69, it connects you with the last person who called you. So she discovered that the person who had just called, pretending to be Zebb, had called from Volvo Construction.
Oh.
But the person on the other end explained that there were a lot of phones at that company, and they didn't know who contacted from that number.
But it's like, how many phones are
apparently
at that company?
700.
Because you should go check because this person is missing.
Not only is this person missing, somebody is literally impersonating them.
This person is missing and now somebody is calling out of work for them.
Right.
Ding, ding, ding. Go look at every fucking phone in that place.
Also, I don't know how all that works, but wouldn't you think they would all have like slightly different numbers?
Yeah, you would think.
I don't know.
Unless it's like one dispatch that sends out to other phones.
Oh, that's a good point.
So like you star 69 and it goes right back to
the dispatch.
So they can't.
Yeah. Good call. Well, nonetheless, Patty reported the strange call to the police and they followed up immediately. In discussions with some of Zebb's coworkers, investigators learned that while he himself had no connection to Volvo Construction, some people recalled that it was where his former coworker, Jason Owens, worked.
Oh.
AKA the last person he was seen with. So detectives spoke with Owens, who admitted to making the call to Walmart, but he said he had only done so after he got a call from Zebb, who asked if he could call in sick for him.
No.
Which, like, if Zebb is calling you, why wouldn't he just call Walmart himself and say, like, I can't come in today?
Exactly.
That makes no sense.
Why wouldn't you just say to the person, hey, like, Zebb is unable to call, but he wanted me to call in for him instead of pretending to be him?
Exactly.
No.
Yeah. Well,
I don't like that.
It's fucking weird. Jason told the police he didn't know why Zebb couldn't call in sick for himself, and that other than the call, he hadn't seen or heard from Zebb since he left him on the side of the road a few nights earlier after abandoning their plans to go look at the car.
Huh.
Now, to us and investigators, Jason Owens' story was highly suspicious.
Yeah.
Especially because as far as anybody knew, they weren't that close. I think I said it earlier. They were just coworkers, really. And when police dug into Jason's whereabouts in the days immediately after Zebb's disappearance, they learned from his boss at Volvo that Jason had called in the day after to say he'd be late to work that day because he'd been in a minor car accident. According to Jason, he had been on his way to work that morning and got in a car accident where he got a cracked rib and a minor head injury. Considering that Jason also said that Zebb had rear-ended his truck the night he went missing, investigators were like, yeah, it's highly unlikely that you would get into 2 car accidents in less than 24 hours. Like, you're really that unlucky?
Yeah, exactly.
And in fact, while Jason did appear to have some minor injuries, when they checked his truck, there was very minimal damage, which definitely indicated that he probably hadn't been involved in a second car accident. So what the fuck are you talking about?
What is going on?
And are you maybe trying to explain away some injuries? Because he went to the hospital and had those injuries treated, by the way, the day after Zebb went missing.
Yeah.
Now, Jason Owens' strange behavior and questionable explanation for his involvement in the case obviously made him a person of interest. But the main problem was that investigators couldn't find anything to say he was directly involved, and he passed a polygraph. Which is it's so interesting to me that polygraphs aren't admissible in court evidence, but they are still something that we do. And
I know.
And we'll dismiss people if they pass one.
It almost feels like, it feels like it's doing way more harm than good.
Yeah.
Because it's just tainting real evidence.
Right.
Because it's well, they passed a polygraph and it's okay.
Yeah, you can if you're
But it's if I have this piece of actual tangible proof, that's somehow putting in someone's head that it could not be tangible.
Right, exactly.
And the other way around, if they don't pass it, then it's they're obviously guilty. And it's
exactly. It works
maybe
both
not.
ways. I think just the fact that it's not admissible in court is maybe we should take it out of practice. I don't know. It's just weird to me.
It doesn't feel like it should be used anymore.
Yeah, it does. It seems dated.
No.
Now, even though it was strange and out of character for Zebb to have suddenly gone missing, within a few days of that disappearance, of his disappearance, detectives still had yet to find any evidence that an actual crime had occurred. That was the problem.
Yeah.
So frustrated and feeling like they were headed for a dead end, they went back to the missing persons report filed by Denise. Going over the names of his friends and potential contacts, they came across Misty Taylor, a girl whose name had actually come up a few times in the investigation, but to whom they hadn't spoken to in any detail. Now, according to Denise Quinn, Misty was one of Zebb's newer friends who he had become infatuated with a month or so before he disappeared. They spent hours talking on the phone, and it was very clear to Denise and anybody close to Zebb that he had developed feelings for her.
Okay.
His sister Brandy said, "I got the feeling that he probably grew to love her."
Oh.
Yeah. Now, after a few weeks of getting to know each other, Zebb unfortunately learned that not only was Misty already in a relationship, but she also had a small child.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Upon learning this, his family and friends assumed, maybe that's going to be the end of the relationship here, but Zebb wasn't ready to let it go. They kept talking on the phone regularly, but from that point on, Zebb made sure to block his number so that Misty's boyfriend, Wesley Smith, wouldn't know who was calling. Messy.
Okay, yeah, that is messy.
Now listen to this. One evening, the day before Zebb disappeared, he forgot to block his number when he called. And Misty's boyfriend, Wesley, answered the phone. And when that happened, Zebb panicked and hung up. But seconds later, the phone rang, and when Zebb answered it, it was Wesley on the other end. And he threatened Zebb, telling him to stay away from Misty, and then just hung up.
Ugh.
Now, despite the repeated warnings from those close to him that he was being unrealistic and pursuing this girl, Zebb was convinced that things would just work themselves out. When you're 18, you think everything's going to work itself out.
You don't think it's going to get bad.
And also, this seems like one of the first girls that he was, really interested in and who seemed interested back in him. So it's exciting.
Yeah, of course.
Getting scared is one thing. Getting a thrill is, well, you want more of those in your life. The Genesis GV70 is built to thrill, baby. A thrilling yet elegant design always makes driving the GV70 an exciting adventure. Its powerful athletic stance screams performance and turns heads. Everybody's looking at you, girl, or boy, or whoever. Command the road and experience a class-leading standard 300 horsepower. Oh my God. Plus, discover the different dynamic drive modes for all different terrains. Choose between the different terrain modes for whatever road conditions you may encounter. The Genesis GV70's award-winning technology and performance lets you drive with comfort and drive with confidence all at the same time. It's an exciting SUV with intuitive tech that can make your ride smooth even when the road isn't. And its blind spot cameras allow you to see what's next to you. It's like having eyes on the side of your head. That's pretty iconic. Its performance, by the way, is measured not only in power, but in how it makes you feel confident, sexy. The Genesis GV70. Learn more at genesis.com and feel the GV70. This episode is brought to you by SoFi, the all-in-one finance app where you can bank, borrow, and invest all in one place. Let's talk about bank accounts for a second. The average bank savings rate is 0.39% in interest. You're earning pennies on your savings, and it doesn't have to be that way. But with SoFi's high-yield checkings and savings, the money barely making moves sitting in your savings account can earn over 8 times the national average savings rate with eligible direct deposit. No account or overdraft fees. We love transparency. You can get your paycheck up to 2 days early, plus get up to a $300 welcome bonus when you sign up with eligible direct deposit. Sign up for SoFi checking and savings at SoFi.com/morbid. SoFi checking and savings is offered through SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms apply. Every good detective needs a partner to support them on important cases. Think of a State Farm agent like your sidekick, there to help you along the way in your search for coverage. State Farm can help you choose the coverage you need, whether it's for your home, car, boat, or even RV. With so many options, it's nice knowing you have help finding what fits for you so you can get back to solving all of life's bigger cases. Go to statefarm.com or use the award-winning app to connect with a local agent and get a quote. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Now, when detectives questioned Misty Taylor about her relationship with Zebb, she had a different take on the friendship entirely. As far as Misty was concerned, she said, her and Zebb were just friends. I never intended for it to be anything more. Investigators still felt like there was something Misty wasn't telling them, though, but they couldn't put their finger on what it was. Now, Wesley Smith, her boyfriend, was similarly evasive when he was interviewed about Zebb's relationship with Misty. He said that on the night Zebb disappeared, he and Misty were at his mom's house watching TV, and that alibi was confirmed. So things got even murkier a few days later when investigators got the call logs from Zebb's pager. According to the logs, the urgent phone call Zebb received the night that he disappeared came from the home of Ida Ustich. I hope I said that correctly. That was Zebb's aunt on his father's side.
Okay.
So Denise Quinn had divorced her husband when Zebb and his sister were still very little. And for most of their lives, their father, Jerry Quinn's relationship with them was inconsistent at best. When Zebb turned 16 and he got his driver's license, though, he started visiting his dad at his bar more often, which was the Biltmore Tavern. And they spent hours there just shooting pool, catching up, kind of bonding.
Yeah.
When Zebb reconnected with his dad, his mom was concerned about how Jerry's, quote, rough country ways would rub off on her son. She said, I always saw Zebb as a backward geek kind of guy.
Oh,
I know. Jerry, on the other hand, was like what somebody would call a man's man.
a man's man.
He was a hard-drinking, tough-walking, working-class guy.
Oh, man.
And he struggled to understand Zebb's more sensitive nature. Still, Denise wasn't going to stop her son from getting to know his father, though, or his father's side of the family. So Zebb started to get to know them, including his aunt, who was the one who paged him.
Which was very good of her.
I know. Denise sounds like she was a fucking rock star mom.
Truly.
Is a rock star mom. Now, in yet another strange twist, when investigators spoke to Ida, the aunt, about the pager records, she denied having made the call.
Huh.
And she said that she was actually at Misty Taylor's house.
Oh.
Apparently, it ended up that Ida was close friends with Misty's mom, and they were actually planning on going into business together.
Oh, wow.
As for who placed the call, though, from Ida's house, she said she had no idea. But the evidence was clear. Phone records from her landline showed the outgoing call to Zebb's pager.
Interesting.
Now, strangely enough, not long after the denial of the phone call, she reported to the police that on that evening that Zebb went missing and her landline allegedly called him or did call him, she said while she was at Misty's mom's house, somebody broke into her home.
Oh.
She said nothing was taken, only a few picture frames were moved around, but she said it must have been the intruder who placed the call.
Did she call the police?
No.
Okay.
So I guess I wonder if she just I wonder if she was like, did these pictures move or did they not?
Yeah.
And also I would probably call the police.
I would call the police.
But also you have to think of it as you're sitting there being like, okay, a couple picture frames are moved.
Yeah,
are they gonna
I guess
do anything?
if you don't know for sure, I guess, but
yeah.
I mean, feel free to overreact.
Overreact. It's always better. So investigators had a very hard time believing that somebody had broken into her house just to place a phone call and move a few pictures around.
That would be weird.
It'd be super weird, probably the first time.
Whatever.
But they didn't have any way of disproving the claims, so they couldn't make any accusations. Later, after the story made its way to the national news circuit, Ida actually denied reporting any break-in to the police. She was like, I never told them that.
What the fuck?
Yeah. When I told you this, also, this is not as weird as it gets, everybody. Like, this case is weird.
All right.
It
already is.
And there's answers, but there's kind of like not answers at the same time, which is really unfortunate for anybody close to Zebb. So 2 weeks into their investigation, Asheville detectives had a number of suspicious people on their hands, obviously, some with very interesting connections to each other, but they still had no evidence of a crime, and the case was in danger of going cold at this point. Then, in mid-January, they got a break in the case when Zebb's car was discovered abandoned in a parking lot, and inside they found some of the strangest evidence that we'll probably ever talk about.
Oh, no.
So on the evening of January 16th, 2 weeks after Zebb went missing, Denise had just got home from a nursing shift at the hospital when her phone rang. The person on the other end was calling from the medical records department at the hospital. She was a coworker, or they were a coworker that Denise knew by sight, but like didn't really know personally too much. But the woman said she had just arrived for her shift at the hospital, and as she was driving into work, she thought that she saw Zebb's car in the parking lot of a nearby shopping plaza. This shopping plaza was like right near the hospital. Like, couldn't have missed it. So Denise jumped in her car and raced to the plaza, where she was stunned to find her son's car parked at the edge of the lot.
Imagine this, too, as a mother.
Well, and the car was parked, like, diagonally, too. Like, we'll get into it.
Like haphazard?
Yeah, definitely. So the headlights were on and the windows were cracked, but, smart and luckily, before touching anything, Denise called the discovery into the investigators, who got there a few minutes later to process everything. Now, to Sergeant Chuck Sams, who arrived at the scene, it seemed that whoever left the car there, like I was just saying, positioned it in a way that would almost certainly be discovered quickly.
Yeah.
Not only were the headlights on, but the way that it was parked was strange. It was like diagonal, like I said. And the location of the car was as conspicuous as it could have been without genuinely being parked in like the middle of the street, like the middle of the road. And not only did Denise work at this hospital where the car was like found right near, her daughter did and her mother did. So Zebb's mom, Zebb's sister, and Zebb's grandmother all work at this hospital.
Holy shit. So like clearly they knew that they would all see it.
Yeah. Now, it turned out though that was just the first of many strange aspects of this particular scene. Sams said, on the back windshield of the car, there were a set of lips drawn in what appeared to be a lipstick type material.
What?
And then there was 2 exclamation marks. There were a number of things that were unusual about it. He said, one of which was that there was a live puppy inside of the car.
What?
So this car is parked right near where his family works, basically diagonal, headlights on, windows cracked, puppy inside the car. Also, inside the car was a jacket that didn't belong to Zebb. But let's sit with the puppy for a second.
I was just going to say, we can't just go away from the puppy. Why is there a puppy in the car?
We never find out, Elena.
Oh my God.
We never,
my God,
listeners, weirdos,
rewatcher.
We never find out.
Holy shit. Why the fuck is there a puppy in the car?
I have gone down every fucking deep, dark hole to try to figure out why the fuck there's a puppy in the car, and I don't know.
And the puppy's okay?
Puppy's totally fine.
Okay.
So, to everybody's astonishment, sitting on the passenger seat of the car, happy as a fucking, happier than ever, just wagging her tail and excited to see new people, was a little black lab, no more than a month or 2 old.
Oh my God, I would literally scream.
Now, desperate for answers, and this will break your heart. She later realizes that this is not the case, but desperate for answers, Denise, Zebb's mother, interpreted the discovery of the car and the weird clues, bizarre clues, as messages from her son.
Oh.
Brandy later told a reporter, my mom automatically thought that the drawing on the windows means he's sending kisses, and the live puppy means he's alive and well.
I mean, that's his mom.
Like, of course you're going to grasp at straws.
Yeah.
Investigators, on the other hand, believed that the puppy was just left in the car to attract attention, ensuring that it would be found quickly.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense.
But, what? You could also just park it weird and it'll be found quickly.
The windows were cracked, too, so they wanted that puppy to be alive and not barking.
Now, luckily, the dog appeared healthy. It didn't seem she didn't seem agitated at all. So it was unlikely that the puppy had even been in the car very long. But they also found a hotel key card in the car as well.
What the fuck?
In a statement to the press, Captain Ted Lambert cautioned anybody about interpreting the discovery as the car as a positive or a negative. He said there's no indication so far of foul play, no indication that he's run away. We're still receiving information and leads daily, and we're following up on that information and will continue to do so.
What a way to hedge your bets.
Truly.
There's no indication of foul play. There's no indication that he left willingly. What does that leave?
Nothing.
He's like, there's no indication.
He said, period. There's no
That's it.
That could have been a quick press conference. No indication. And no comment.
The end.
Bye.
Like, because that's essentially what he just said is like, we don't know.
Yeah.
No idea.
Got nothing for you.
Which is true.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck? This is bizarre.
What do you say?
Yeah.
Now, in the days after the discovery of Zebb's car, officers fanned out across Asheville and the surrounding area, visiting every hotel and motel to find the establishment that had issued the key card. But after days of searching, they came up with nothing.
What?
So they literally can't even figure out where this key card, like what hotel it belongs to. And without having access to the scanner that created it, there was no way of learning what data was on the card, like possibly who had the room or anything.
I wonder if we have like the potential to do that now.
I know. Well,
because I almost said, I was like, in the year 2026, we can't do that. And then I was like, this isn't 2026.
You were like, this is 1999.
But I was like, do we now?
I mean,
like, would you be able to get the data off of a key card, I wonder?
I think you'd need the scanner that created the card.
But I wonder, maybe not now. Maybe they figured out a way to do it.
But I mean, realistically, like the data on the card is like who has the room.
Yeah.
So I feel like that would only really be with the hotel database.
Well, you would think that, but who knows?
Who knows? I don't know.
Come up with like further reaching databases now.
Or maybe even just to get to the hotel, because they don't even know what hotel. So I see what you're saying. So unfortunately, they came to a similar dead end with their search to determine where the fuck this sweet little puppy had come from.
Oh.
After visiting every shelter and breeder in the region, they were still no closer to knowing of the dog's origin or what, if anything, she had to do with the case.
Yeah.
Now, in a 2012 interview, Sam said, "It's always been such a great mystery where this dog came from. But from the moment that she was discovered in the car, Chuck Sams was taken with this little lab, and he ended up adopting her from the shelter that she was placed in, and he named her Katie."
Oh, I love that so much.
Katie the pup.
I love that.
Yeah, so you know, at least you know the dog's safe.
Hell yeah.
But where did she come from?
That's the thing. Where did she come from?
And what does she mean?
What does she mean?
There's so many holes you can go down. So the discovery of Zebb's car and the evidence contained within it were an exciting development in the case after like nothing for a couple weeks. But as strange as it all was, it also suggested that something bad could have happened to Zebb.
Yeah.
Even Denise, who desperately wanted her son to be alive, started to accept that it was probably somebody other than Zebb who had left the car in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Later in 2012, she said, "Somebody knew that his sister and I worked at the hospital. I mean, we just felt that it was parked there to be found."
Yeah, it absolutely was.
It was. After the car was discovered, investigators released a statement to the press urging anybody who had seen that car in the previous 2 weeks to come forward, regardless of whether they thought they could help at all. Like, just, if you saw the car, tell us. Mm-hmm. Within a week, a local couple contacted Asheville police to say, "Hey, we saw somebody driving that car downtown a few days before it was discovered." They'd been following the case in the papers, and they had read the description of the car several times over. So when they saw that it seemed to be a matching vehicle a short time later, they wrote down the plate number and they called the police.
What badasses. Good job.
Good job, local couple.
Good job being observant.
Hell yeah.
You saw something and you said something.
That's what you do. The plate number turned out to be a close match for Zebb's car, indicating that the couple had in fact seen the car after Zebb went missing. But when they were asked if they could describe who was driving at the time, they reported it was not a teenage boy who was driving. It was a young woman.
Oh.
When they sat down with a sketch artist to create a composite sketch of the person they saw driving, the result was an image that looked a lot like Misty Taylor.
Oh.
Which is weird.
What the fuck?
Investigators took the sketch and the information to Misty, who strongly and repeatedly denied having driven Zebb's car or to have known anything about the disappearance, and they had no cause to keep her or charge her with any kind of crime, so they had to let her go.
Damn.
Now, by the end,
what is going on?
It's wild. So, by the end of January, the case had gone from baffling to outright fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
Like, what?
What indeed?
But investigators were no closer to finding Zebb Quinn or learning what happened than they were on January 3rd when his mom reported him missing.
I want to know what happened.
They had all these weird things, but nothing was really evidence, aside from like what was found in the car.
Yeah.
Now, with the case going cold and the story now fading from the headlines, because unfortunately awful things continue to happen, it seemed like the mystery of Zebb's disappearance was bound to go unsolved. But in yet another bizarre turn of events, a series of unrelated crimes finally led to new leads, and a familiar suspect emerged. A year passed, and there was still no sign of Zebb. While the family started to lose hope, investigators kept searching for answers. Investigator Ted Lambert told reporters, "We take each and every lead seriously and run it into the ground. At times it's frustrating that there isn't closure for Zebb and his family."
Yeah.
A month later, Asheville police managed to get a warrant to collect hair, saliva, and blood samples from Jason Owens based on the fact that DNA evidence was found inside both vehicles.
Oh.
And they wanted to determine whether Zebb had been in Jason's car before or after he had disappeared. Unfortunately, like so many other leads in this case, the DNA samples led them nowhere.
Oh.
But it did seem, though, no matter where the case seemed to lead them, Jason Owens was always there.
Yeah.
Then, in October of 2002, Jason Owens showed up in the news again, this time for reasons unrelated to Zebb Quinn and that whole case. In the early morning hours of October 30th, an Asheville police officer was driving on Interstate 240 when she spotted a car that was driving somewhat erratically. Suspecting that the driver was probably impaired, the officer attempted to pull the car over, but rather than pull off to the side of the road like you're supposed to, the driver, who turned out to be Jason Owens, attempted to flee. While driving at high speeds on the interstate and then on residential roads as well, Owens stuck a fucking handgun out the driver's side window and fired 4 or 5 shots at the pursuing officer.
While going down residential roads as well.
But luckily, none hit their intended target.
Jesus.
The chase finally ended when he struck a mailbox and flipped his car, and he suffered serious injuries in the process,
I bet.
obviously. Owen spent a little over a week in the hospital before he was stable enough to be arrested on 9 charges.
Holy shit.
Including eluding arrest, assault on a law enforcement officer with a firearm, and a myriad of others. He eventually was found guilty of the charges, and he only spent 2 years in prison.
Are you kidding me?
I'm always just like, what?
What the fuck?
Like, he shot 5 times at an officer. What if that person died?
What the fuck?
Like, hello?
Was he white?
Yes.
Okay.
Period.
That sounds about white.
It does. So when he was released, he kind of just faded back into private life for like a minute. But in the years that followed, he became a familiar face to the Asheville police, not just because of his link to the Zebb Quinn case, but also because of his tendency to get arrested for various petty crimes. Like,
What are you doing?
I mean, I wouldn't call drunk driving petty, but he got pulled over many more times, and he also was a thief. So years passed, and the case grew colder and colder and colder. And in the hope of eliciting some new leads, police released the surveillance camera footage from the convenience store where Zebb stopped just before he went missing. So Captain Tom Ardema, hopefully I said that right, said, "We have put a lot of hours into this case and we have no further leads on it, but we will not close this case until we bring it to a conclusion."
I hope so.
I know. When the tape failed to get a response from the public, investigators released a second tape the next year where they recreated the circumstances leading up to the disappearance, and that concluded with the discovery of Zebb's car in the parking lot. Investigator Daryl Fisher said, "Somebody knows where Zebb is. We just need for that person or persons who know what happened to come forward and tell us what they know."
Yeah, we do.
But sadly, the video failed to produce any useful clues, and the case was shelved as detectives shifted their attention back to active cases. So Zebb's case sat on the shelf for another decade, as his family and friends had to come to terms that he was most likely no longer alive.
Holy shit.
It was also looking like they might never have answers for all their questions.
That's the worst part.
Yeah, for all that time to go by, and you probably wake up every single day with a new question about where your brother is,
And
where
they're
your
just
son
not
is
being answered.
and you have, we say it all the time, like your mind fills in the holes.
Oh yeah, makes it much worse.
So, but all of a sudden, a seemingly unrelated case brought Zebb's disappearance back to the front pages all over North Carolina, not just in Asheville. Getting scared is one thing. Getting a thrill is, well, you want more of those in your life. The Genesis GV70 is built to thrill, baby. A thrilling yet elegant design always makes driving the GV70 an exciting adventure. Its powerful athletic stance screams performance and turns heads. Everybody's looking at you, girl, or boy, or whoever. Command the road and experience a class-leading standard 300 horsepower. Oh my God. Plus, discover the different dynamic drive modes for all different terrains. Choose between the different terrain modes for whatever road conditions you may encounter. The Genesis GV70's award-winning technology and performance lets you drive with comfort and drive with confidence all at the same time. It's an exciting SUV with intuitive tech that can make your ride smooth even when the road isn't. And its blind spot cameras allow you to see what's next to you. It's like having eyes on the side of your head. That's pretty iconic. Its performance, by the way, is measured not only in power, but in how it makes you feel confident, sexy. The Genesis GV70. Learn more at genesis.com and feel the GV70. This episode is brought to you by SoFi, the all-in-one finance app where you can bank, borrow, and invest all in one place. Let's talk about bank accounts for a second. The average bank savings rate is 0.39% in interest. You're earning pennies on your savings, and it doesn't have to be that way. But with SoFi's high-yield checkings and savings, the money barely making moves sitting in your savings account can earn over 8 times the national average savings rate with eligible direct deposit. No account or overdraft fees. We love transparency. You can get your paycheck up to 2 days early, plus get up to a $300 welcome bonus when you sign up with eligible direct deposit. Sign up for SoFi checking and savings at SoFi.com/morbid. SoFi checking and savings is offered through SoFi Bank N.A. member FDIC. Terms apply. The best summer pieces are the ones you end up wearing on repeat. Comfortable, versatile, and somehow right for almost every occasion. Quince makes it easy to create a summer wardrobe that you'll love, with elevated essentials made from premium materials like European linen, organic cotton, and washable silk, without the traditional retail markup. I love that! Quince's 100% European linen pants, dresses, and tops are the pieces that you absolutely will reach for all summer long. I absolutely love their linen. I have so many pairs of their linen pants, which you can dress up or you can dress down in the summer. Like, say you're going to a nice dinner, you can pair it with like a silk shirt, a really cute necklace, some good, makeup and an updo. Or if you're just looking for a more casual look, you can do the linen pants with like a loose button-up shirt and you still look really chic, kind of like, I don't know, Diane Keaton vibes, I kind of think. Also, it's not just apparel. Quince also offers elevated essentials for your home, from bedding and bath to kitchen essentials and furniture. They have it all, honey. I am a big lover of Quince, and I really do think you will be too. Make your summer wardrobe feel easier. Go to quince.com/morbid for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/morbid for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/morbid. On March 15th, 2015, Christy Codd's father became worried when he hadn't heard from his daughter and couldn't get a hold of her husband, JT, either. He called Christy's neighbor, Cecilia Owens, who he knew had a key to their house, and he said, "Can you just check on Christy? She's 5 months pregnant. I want to make sure she's okay." Cecilia said, "As soon as I walked in, I knew something was wrong. Just the look of the place, and she had left the dogs. She would never leave the dogs. Those were her babies."
Oh, no.
Now concerned that something happened to Christy and to JT, Cecilia called the police and reported them both missing. Now, 3 years before Christy and JT's disappearance, Christy actually appeared as a contestant on the Food Network for Food Network Star.
Oh my God.
Which Ma and I used to watch all the time.
We used to watch that constantly.
Yeah, so I'm sure we saw her season.
Yeah.
Now, obviously that gave her a certain amount of notoriety around this area, and that led to her disappearance gaining maybe more attention than it otherwise might have. A day after the story appeared in papers, police got an anonymous call where it was reported that somebody had been setting fires around the house next to the Codd's home.
What the fuck?
And that they'd left a lot of suspicious debris in a dumpster.
What?
Now, when police arrived at the address provided by the caller, do you want to guess who the homeowner was?
Oh, no.
It was Jason Owens.
Are you kidding me?
And the suspicious debris left in the dumpster were items known to have belonged to Christy Codd.
What the fuck?
Among other things, Owens was in possession of Christie's jewelry, the couple's laptop, and a handgun registered to JT Codd.
What is going on right now?
So based on the evidence, investigators were able to get an arrest warrant, and Owens was taken into custody and considered the primary suspect in the Codd's disappearance. Now, a week after Christie and JT Codd were reported missing, Jason Owens now confessed, and he said he stored and destroyed the bodies of the couple at his house.
What?
Just simple as that. He said he stored and destroyed them.
What the fuck is this dude?
He's a lot of things. Investigators got a search warrant for his home now that he confessed, and they did in fact find human remains inside a large wood stove on the property. It seemed that he had killed them and dismembered their bodies and then tried to destroy the remains to hide any evidence.
Wow.
This man is diabolical. In an interview with his wife, detectives learned that he confessed the murders to her, but was apparently vague about the details.
What?
Yeah, no comment. According to his wife, Jason had agreed to do some work for the Codds, and he was driving. Before I get into this, let me just tell you, this explanation and this, like, quote unquote confession makes no fucking sense. There are many pieces of this puzzle also missing. Jason said that he was doing some work for the family, and he was driving JT's truck when he just struck and killed JT with the vehicle. You know, as so often happens when you're driving, you just strike somebody. Once JT was incapacitated, he said, Jason decided to rob Christie at knife point, and he killed her in the process.
So, okay. So is he saying he accidentally hit JT or he did it on purpose?
He just said that he hit him.
He just hit him.
As he was driving, he hit him.
Motivations, none.
Yep.
But while I was doing it, I decided why not try to rob his wife.
Yeah, apparently.
What?
Obviously, he had a plan this entire time, and he intentionally hit JT and then robbed his wife. But the way he made it sound and the way his wife said his confession was
what the fuck?
Bizarre. So Owen's wife, she said, I don't know much beyond those basic details, and Jason wouldn't say much more. So the motive for the crime now really still remains mostly a mystery.
What?
I think he just wanted to rob them.
That's so fucked up.
By the way, don't forget, Christie was 5 months pregnant.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So a few days after his confession to dismembering the bodies and attempting to destroy the remains, Jason was indicted on 3 counts of first-degree murder.
Good.
For the deaths of Christie, JT, and their unborn baby.
Oh, I'm glad he got 3.
3, yeah. For facing the death penalty, he accepted a plea deal in 2017 and was sentenced to a minimum of 60 years in prison. Now, the plea obviously brought the Codd case to a close, but for Zebb's family and the investigators who worked the case over the previous 15 years, it sparked a renewed hope that with his arrest for this latest horrible crime, they actually might finally get some answers to their questions about where Zebb was and what had happened to him. The renewed interest in the case prompted some new leads from the public, including an unnamed relative of Jason Owens, who told investigators that, quote, before and after January 2000, Owens dug a pit on his Owens Cove Road property to burn items. And sometime after January 2000, he poured concrete over the area and said he was going to make a fish pond.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's fucking weird, everybody, right?
Yep.
Now, investigators searched the area, and they found what they described as unknown hard fragments buried underneath the area that Owens had dug out for the pond. But they have never revealed whether or not those fragments are related to the Zebb Quinn case.
Guys, come on.
I don't know if they can't say for certain what I have no idea.
Can we get under that pond? Can we do like ground penetrating radar or something?
Well, I mean, they found fragments. Like, can you just
tell me
figure out
what
what they are? So whether or not the fragments had anything to do with Zebb's disappearance, though, District Attorney Todd Williams felt that there was enough evidence to take to a grand jury at this point.
Yeah.
And on July 10th, 2017, Jason Owens was indicted on 1 count of first-degree murder in the death of Zebb Quinn. 6 months later, court records filed by his own attorneys, Jason's, indicated that in interviews with investigators, Jason Owens, quote, said a family member killed Zebb Quinn and then dismembered him and burned the remains.
Oh my God.
He went on to provide a, quote, detailed account of Quinn's death, which included that evidence of the murder might be found in the Bent Creek experimental forest.
Bent Creek Experimental Forest? What the fuck is that?
Like, what's an experimental forest?
Wait a minute.
That's a thing. It was established in 1927 to study rehabilitation of cut-over degraded forests. I've never heard of an experimental forest before.
I've never heard of that in my life. I need to go down such a fucking rabbit hole.
Please, guys, tell us if you have heard of experimental forest before. Because for a second I was like, did I read that
like,
wrong?
Did I do something wrong here?
It's an experimental forest.
And he's saying that evidence of Zebb Quinn's death could be found there.
Yeah, evidence of his murder.
Interesting.
So despite the bombshell admission, years passed without any involvement in the case.
What the fuck?
Then, in 2022, more details of Jason Owens' interview with detectives were made public. So according to Jason, his uncle Walter, better known as Gene Owens, shot and killed Zebb the night that he went missing, and then he dismembered the body and burned the remains.
Why?
Uncle Gene. Now, by that time, Gene Owens had died, so he wasn't there to refute those claims or offer any kind of counter-narrative. And actually, according to Owens' attorneys, the person who called in the anonymous tip about Jason's fish pond, which literally got him, like, you know, involved in the Zebb Quinn case in the first place.
Yeah.
Or, you know, more involved, like brought him back, was Gene Owens. Who had called. But Jason's attorney said that was in an attempt to misdirect detectives.
I mean, sure, you're the lawyer, so you're going to say that, but...
yeah, like, I don't know.
Or, and this is just me, like, you know,
Speculation.
spitballing, speculation here. It's like, it could be that.
Yep.
Or the other possibility is that he really was calling to report that. Jason knows that. So now he's like, well, he's dead now, so I'm going to put this on him because he was about to out me.
Yeah. That's the widely held
That
belief.
feels like that's
the
more,
widely held belief.
Like it's more like, okay, well, now it's going to get put on you because you can't do anything about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who knows?
And again, that's just me speculating.
Yeah, that's pure speculation, but that's speculation you share with many, and I do too.
Yeah.
Now, Jason's accusations left everybody familiar with the case somewhat conflicted. Like we're talking, you actually led me right into this.
There you go.
On one hand, people were eager to finally resolve the case after more than 2 decades of mystery and unanswered questions and bizarre happenings. But on the other hand, it all seemed a little too convenient. Jason had recently been convicted of another crime where the details matched exactly what he was now claiming his uncle had done to Zebb Quinn.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. He's literally sitting there saying, like, oh, my uncle did that to Jason, and I just so happened to also just do that to this couple.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Like, how does that make sense?
Because that's like a trait you guys share. So a lot of people felt that Jason couldn't be trusted to tell the truth in any situation. Amy Carson, a former friend and neighbor, said, in a letter me and my husband received, he's basically blaming his uncle. I really have a hard time believing that. He's blaming someone who's dead who can't defend himself.
Yeah.
Which is what you were just saying.
Exactly.
Jason's story had put the district attorney's office in a pretty tough position. They lacked the evidence to prosecute Jason for a murder, but at the same time, it also felt like the one chance they could finally get some justice for Zebb and his family. So on July 25th, 2022, Jason Owens accepted a plea deal where he pleaded guilty to being an accessory to murder, and he was given a sentence to 13 to 16 years, in addition to the life sentence that he was already serving.
Oh.
Now, according to the defense, Jason's defense, Gene Owens had, quote, duped his nephew into luring Zebb Quinn to the Pisgah National Forest to meet a woman with whom Quinn was smitten, who we can assume is Misty Taylor.
Yeah.
However, when Zebb arrived, Misty was nowhere to be seen, and it was Gene Owens, who had allegedly been hired by Misty's boyfriend to kill Zebb, who was there waiting to meet him.
Wow.
Gene then shot and killed Zebb and enlisted Jason's help to get rid of the body. That's the defense's argument.
Okay.
That's very hard to follow, I understand. So basically, they're saying Jason lured Zebb out into the woods because Misty's boyfriend, who Zebb was involved with Misty, remember?
Okay.
Misty's boyfriend had hired Gene, Jason's uncle, to kill Zebb.
Okay.
That's simply put.
Okay.
Sort of. There's so many people.
That I can follow that now.
So the defense went out of their way to insist that this was not a compromise plea, but an accurate reflection of the facts and a sentence that fit the crime committed by Jason. But the assistant district attorney, Jeremy Engel, on the other hand, remained skeptical that Jason wasn't just the real killer.
Yeah.
Engel said, based on the evidence available, the lack of evidence of a motive, cause of death, spoliation of evidence based on the decades-long pause and critical leads in the case, a conviction of first-degree murder at trial, though never a certainty, would present a steep challenge considering all these factors.
Yeah.
So in this case, they agreed to the plea rather than let the case continue to go unsolved.
That makes sense.
They publicly said, we don't really agree that that's what happened here. Like, that's not the truth in our opinion, but at least he'll serve some time.
Yeah, like we can't let him just walk out of here.
Right,
or
exactly.
something else,
And I really like that they went through with it because he was already serving a life sentence, so they definitely didn't have to, especially where they didn't agree with the facts.
I didn't think about that.
But they were like, no, you need to be held responsible in some capacity.
Justice needs to be served in some way.
The family deserves that at the very least.
No, I do like that.
You know? So after the judge accepted the plea, friends and family were given the opportunity to speak and share their victim impact statements, which is... They needed
reason.
that. Like, they should always be afforded that.
Yeah.
While everybody had wonderful things to say about Zebb, obviously, it was his mother's statement that will hopefully remain with Jason Owens forever. Mm-hmm. Denise said, and I actually have goosebumps already, she said, I'd grown up learning to trust people and believe in their goodness until they showed you otherwise. I passed that on to Zebb, who took it to heart. When I was not really happy with a couple of his friends in high school and told him he would be judged by the company he kept, he looked back at me and said, they have done nothing wrong to me and have done nothing wrong around me, and I will continue to be their friend. This is the young man that was taken from his family, friends, community, and the world. This is a young man that never would have seen his end coming. This is a young man who trusted his friend Jason.
Oh, that's gut-wrenching. Like, truly gut-wrenching.
It really is.
Oh,
It's just, this was a trusting person, and you preyed on that. And
That's
he's
so
a
sad.
much better person than you ever fucking were.
that's so sad.
It is. Now, Jason Owens is currently serving a sentence of 59 to 74 years to life without parole in North Carolina.
Good.
Yeah. It's always confusing when it's like this year to life.
I know, it's like to life.
I'm like, what?
You're like, huh? Wow. What a...
I don't think we've really come across many cases like that.
No, I don't know even what... There's so many unanswered questions. Yeah, like the idea of the puppy makes sense for like their theory of like they wanted the car to be found. So I guess a puppy
But why
barking makes sense.
the lips on the back?
But why did you want the car to be found?
Right.
Because why just make it disappear if you want to make it disappear?
Right.
Why the lips?
The lips.
Where's the hotel key card from?
Whose jacket is that?
Whose jacket is that?
Like
what is going on? And you can look it up. You can see the picture of the lips drawn.
It's bizarre.
It's bizarre.
It's big too. Like it's
very
like the
big.
whole
It's like the
windshield,
whole back windshield. And like the exclamation points. I'm like, what does all this mean?
I don't know if
And
he
who
just
drew that?
It's like, does it all mean nothing? And you guys are just it's like to fuck with people?
Maybe it's just to like make people go down all these different roads and like distract from what was actually happening.
I'm like, did people involved just think that they were like masterminds?
And is that lipstick? And if so, whose lipstick is that?
Right, it seemed like lipstick. That's
Because it
what
looks
people
like
thought.
lipstick. Like, I don't know. This is just weird.
It's so, and where did the dog come from?
That's the thing. Where did the dog come from?
Like, where did you just travel to another fucking like
where did
state?
that key card come from?
Right.
That it didn't match anywhere?
Right. It's
so
all
weird.
very bizarre.
So weird.
It's sad. It's really, really sad.
And the fact that they don't know where Zebb is.
Exactly.
Like, I want them to have Zebb.
I know, and they absolutely should.
And I'm like, where is he?
I don't
Tell someone.
I wonder, and again, this is speculation, where Jason apparently had a whole thing for burning people's remains.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what the hard fragments are.
That's
that
what
got
I'm
buried
wondering,
underneath
under the
that
fish pond.
that fish pond.
I want to know what's under that fish pond.
But wouldn't you at least say, like, I don't know what happens here, but it's like, wouldn't you say hard fragments that we believe to be human?
That's the thing.
At
Well, and
least.
it's like, isn't there...
Because it doesn't say human, it just says hard fragments.
Isn't there a way to try to
test?
get some kind of warrant to, like, drain that pond and be able to crack through the bottom and, like, see what's under there?
I don't even know if he even built the fish pond. He was just planning to.
Oh,
I don't even know
okay.
if the fish pond ever came to fruition.
Oh, okay.
I think that's why they were able to kind of like figure out that they
That's the
were.
thing. I'm like, did you dig up hard fragments or did you use ground penetrating
Yeah.
radar and see something? And also, why are we not figuring out what that is? Like,
Are they just too? But and that's the thing. Like we've covered cases before where charred remains are found.
Yeah.
and they're never. I mean, I don't want to say never, but like they're very rarely too charred to determine if they're animal at least or human.
that's the thing.
You know.
I'm just really curious about that part.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah.
Very, very
What
strange
a
and
strange
very sad.
case. I feel so bad for his family.
I do too, because
obviously they loved each other a lot.
they did. And it's like, even though there was a conviction, they're still like, we're just sitting here asking so many questions. And
or so many questions. So many
Exact-
answers not given.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
It's a strange one.
It is.
But-
I need to look up a fun fact.
Yeah, got us a fun fact.
And please look up Zebb Quinn, because, man, what an adorable.
I know. I'm telling you, like, teddy bear energy.
Yeah. This is fun.
Tell me.
It also is kind of horrifying.
Oh?
There's a statue of Jason Voorhees chained on the bottom of a Minnesota lake.
Oh, I knew that, actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
What
Isn't
the
that really...
fuck?
That's really fun, isn't it?
That's horrifying.
That's such
but
a
also
fun fact. Imagine you're just, like,
I would never be
swimming
in a lake,
around and you bump
so-
into Jason fucking Voorhees.
Yeah, I would never be swimming in a lake, so I don't have to worry about it. But I would watch you bump into it.
Yeah, I would swim in a lake.
Yeah,
for
you
sure.
love a lake.
I love a lake.
I love sitting by a lake.
You do. You
and
do.
looking at it.
Elena's never been caught dead in a lake. She's
right,
a crazy
I won't.
bitch. You're such an earth sign. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm not in the water.
I'm on the ground.
You're crazy.
I'll look at water though.
Yeah, water is so serene.
Love to look at it.
I would not like to look at water where Jason Voorhees is.
Damn, what Minnesota lake is he in?
I think also like whoever did that just like did it for the joke of it all.
Just did it for the
I
walls.
saw that recently.
Did it for the
actually.
plot.
It's so funny because for a second when you said Jason Voorhees, I was like, Jason Voorhees, Jason Voorhees. Is that a political figure? And then I was like, oh no, Jason Voorhees.
Oh, okay. So submerged
Mine
at the
Lake.
bottom of Louise Mine Pit, often referred to as Crystal Lake in
Ah,
Crosby, Minnesota.
there it is.
It happened in 2013 by diver Doug Klein.
It's a surprise.
120 foot deep. Damn.
Damn, that's really, really scary.
Oh, and there's pictures of it underwater.
Do you see it?
Guys.
It's very realistic.
Guys, look that up and it will ruin your life. He's literally looking up.
Talk about Shark Week.
He's looking up. That is Shark Week right there.
Oh my God. Imagine you're just diving and you have no idea. And then that could give somebody a heart attack, my guy.
I have to say that is literally genius, but one of the most horrifying things I have ever seen in my life.
I'd cry for
I
sure.
don't like things submerged in water. That really
I don't either.
gets me.
That's a specific fear.
Yeah, it takes me to a place,
Things-
a place of panic.
Submerged in water phobia is called... Oh, that's hard. Submechanophobia?
Yeah.
You have that. You're also afraid of really big things.
Yeah, especially big things that are submerged in water.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's another one. We
Yeah.
gotta end it somewhere.
Yeah. A lot
All
of things
right.
give me anxiety.
Yeah, that's spooky. That's fair enough. The world is insane.
Fair enough.
It's insane. All right. Well,
man.
we hope that you keep listening.
And we hope you
Keep
it
weird. Maybe keep it so weird that you submerge like a horror figure in a random lake somewhere.
Yeah, because that is fun.
It is a little bit fun.
And I won't have to see it.
Just make sure it's like environmentally friendly. I think that one is.
As long as that's cool.
Okay. And be nice to sharks.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. One thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. For decades, Angie's helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. Angie, the one you trust to find the ones you trust. Find a pro for your project at Angie.com.
You wouldn't take financial advice from a 72 hours in a single day alpha influencer, would you? Same goes if you're in a car accident or any accident. Who you choose matters. That's why Morgan & Morgan exists. They're the largest injury law firm in America, and they've built their reputation by actually winning cases, not just talking about it. Over 1,000 lawyers across all 50 states and $30 billion recovered. Injured? Go to forthepeople.com/podcast. That's forthepeople.com/podcast.